When you ask someone if they like Daredevil Born Again, you get one of two answers. You either get someone saying, "We are so back and it's the best thing that Disney has ever made," or you get someone saying that Mickey Mouse personally came to their house and shoveled shit into their eyes. Usually an MCU project is either unanimously loved or hated, so I was surprised to see how divisive this one got. Me, I personally fall into both camps, having really enjoyed things about the show and having absolutely hated certain parts. Overall, I think there's more good than bad throughout the show. But that won't stop me from complaining, so strap on in and let's talk about the one major thing the show got wrong. And for that, we'll have to go all the way back to its first episode. But before we do, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. The moment I'm speaking about is when Matt pushes Bullseye off a roof and attempts to kill him. When the first episode dropped, I remember more people were upset by the CGI in the fight scene than were upset about the fact that Matt crossed his own lines so casually. I feel like this is something the Netflix show would have never allowed. The first 3 seasons worked tirelessly to push Matt right up to that breaking point, but his better judgment always prevailed. Born Again throws this all out of the window very quickly, and when I saw the first episode, it felt like the showrunners were out of touch with what made the Netflix show special. It felt careless, like the lessons learned no longer mattered. It felt like this.
Double kill. Triple kill. Overkill.
And yes, I know what you're going to say before you even type it in the comments. That Matt had never dealt with his best friend dying before. But I just don't buy that argument. That a swell of emotion could make him break that oath. Do you remember the finale of season 3 where Matt had his hands ready to break the neck of Fisk, who was then and there threatening the lives of Karen and Foggy? Perhaps you think it's different this time, since Foggy actually dies versus it being just a threat. But Fisk had killed so many people by that point, and Matt knew this, and he still is able to calm his inner demons during this onslaught of emotion. Matt, Foggy, and Karen seem to be in a better place than ever at the start of this show, and maybe that's what the showrunners were relying on. That just when things were finally under control in Matt's life, that happiness is ripped away and Matt reacts accordingly. But me, personally, I don't buy it. There's no build to this switch in character. There's no arc that got me to buy in. Instead, we got an episode that will serve as a lot of people's first impression of the character, where Matt resorts to killing when things get tough. And I don't like that. It would be one thing if Matt really regretted breaking his no-kill rule, but I don't think the show depicts this enough. Yes, he gives up the mask, but that's more because he thinks Foggy was killed because of his connection to Daredevil, and less because he thinks he stepped over the line. There are a lot of scenes where Matt cries looking at pictures of Foggy, or generally just looks bummed out, but there aren't really many scenes where the focal point is Matt regretting that he attempted to kill a man. And that showed me that there was going to be more of a disconnect with the original show than I had previously thought. But oddly, this actually helped me enjoy the rest of the show. Once I accepted that this show is really just a different thing, I realized that the show's core premise was worth staying for, even if it was built off of what I still believe to be a bad idea. Like I said before, I pretty much loved the rest of the show. I loved the parallels between Matt and Fisk and how Fisk really gets to step up as a co-lead of the series. I loved how Matt grapples with what is achievable through the law and vigilantism, and I think the arc of him reclaiming the mask is worth the wait. And I think the one thing that we can all agree on is that the cinematography was just next level good on this one. Sure, there are a few moments that stumble, like when they try and force MCU tie-ins and when the series cuts off on a cliffhanger as things are still building, but it didn't take me too long after that first episode to really feel at home in this world. And as I got to the end of the show, I think I even started to like the fact that Matt had tried to kill someone. I think it's an interesting topic to explore, that Matt's rage pushed him to that point, and this series really does analyze the source and relief of his rage. But I still would have much preferred this being a plot point, this being something it is built up to, instead of having this out-of-character moment that is thrust upon us in the first episode, and then having the rest of the series trying to explain it after the fact. But this show is a really great lesson for me, in that if you don't agree with certain choices that a show has made, it's still possible to enjoy the final result, so always go in with an open mind. Let me know in the comments if you loved Born Again, hated it, or were somewhere in between. Please also like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.